Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a really long time and I have a lot to tell you and I am so sorry that I've been absolutely just not at all updating anyone on anything that has to do with beauty or infertility or just life in general. So I really do apologize. There's like nothing worse than, following someone and following their journey and just like enjoying their content, and then you never see them again and you're like, did they die? Are they okay? I'm very much alive and I'm doing really good. And I have some really insanely exciting news for you guys. I'm pregnant and it's an insanely amazing story that I've just been really excited to tell and share with you guys. I have quite the life update for you and tell you about how we got pregnant. If you are new to my channel, my name is Candice and I do beauty stuff and like mostly beauty stuff, but I've also done a lot of infertility type of videos because I have been dealing with infertility for the past 9.5 years. Yeah, it's been a really long journey. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome and I essentially do not ovulate on my own. I've never ovulated on my own ever. So without ovulation, you obviously can't get knocked up. So I've done lots of fertility treatments. I've done a lot of holistic treatments. I have done a lot of things and successfully got pregnant a few years ago with a loss of a blighted ovum at 7 weeks. It was discovered to be a blighted ovum, and then at 10 weeks I had to get a D&C. So yeah, it's been a pretty long and very, very, very difficult journey. And I wouldn't really even say it's been a lonely journey because I do feel like our struggles with infertility has really challenged my husband and I to really connect on a very deep level that maybe we wouldn't have had the opportunity to connect on. So I wouldn't wish infertility on my absolute worst enemy, but I do believe that God uses painful experiences and painful trials for good. And I do think that he used our infertility journey for good. Yeah, so that's kind of a quick little history. Sorry, I'm out of breath really bad. I'm always out of breath, but so let's get into the nitty gritty of how we got pregnant. It's actually quite a quick story. Basically, I was tired of taking medication. I believe my OB at the time had me on Metformin and letrozole again. Metformin made me very, very sick. I actually did a video about that. I will link somewhere below in case you want to check out my experience with Metformin. But I quit it on my own because it was pretty detrimental to my body. I did not enjoy being on it. Of course, when I decide to film, our neighbors are doing the lawn and my dog is barking. So I'm just gonna keep rolling because I don't have time to do this any other time. So forgive the noise in the background. Anyway, I really decided that I was really done taking medicine. I just felt like I was just over it. I was done with supplements. I took a lot of supplements and I was doing a keto diet, which I actually strongly recommend a keto diet. Didn't lose a ton of weight, but I do know it made me feel better. Anyway, there's a lot that I did and I just got to this wall where I was like, you know what? I'm just done. I am done trying so hard to make this happen. And I kind of felt like if God wants this to happen, I need to hear from him, and I also need to believe that he's going to make it happen in his timing. And so I did feel like with a lot of prayer, I am a Christian, and so with a lot of prayer, I do feel like, oh, I know the Lord made a promise to me by giving me my heart's desire, me and my husband, our heart's desire to be a parent, to be parents. And I knew that was a promise from the Lord. And so I was really leaning on that promise. And I just got to this wall where I was like, you know what? God gave us a promise. I'm just going to trust that it's going to happen in his timing. So I kind of, like, cheesy as it sounds, I let go and let God. Like I truly did. And my prayer all the time, because I was always hurting emotionally. I mean, you know, if you're going through infertility, I don't care if you've been struggling for a month or a year or 10 years. You definitely feel sad a lot of the time because you're just, you know, everyone's moving on and everyone is having babies and you just feel completely, I don't know, it's a weird isolating feeling. I mean, there's a big sisterhood with it, and I have really enjoyed the communities that I have been a part of, and that have helped me through it. And I love talking about infertility and what it feels like, because I think it's something that just people just don't talk about normally. And I know a lot of people just don't feel comfortable, and that's totally cool. Like, I'm kind of an open book with it, and I feel like it's important for me, it's therapeutic for me to talk about how I feel in that sense. But anyway, I haven't done this in so long. I feel like I'm being really jumbly on camera, so I apologize if that's annoying. So basically, I just quit doing all of my medication, and I just thought, just let go and let's just pray about it and just trust that the Lord's going to do this in his timing. And so, in the midst of that, I found a really natural approach, not taking supplements, not doing anything except just tracking my cycles. And I've always tracked my cycles with an app called Candice, with a basal body thermometer called Wink. And I really loved that. I tried an inner ear monitor that I actually didn't end up loving by, what was it called? Yono? Yeah, Yono inner ear. I did a video on that. I didn't use it very often. It was uncomfortable, and yeah, it just wasn't really for me. So I found this type of tracking, which I've actually known about for a while, that I just hadn't made the plunge to search out a practitioner. And it's a thing called the Creighton method or Creighton model. And it's like in conjunction with something called NAPRO technology. And basically, you reach out. There's plenty of resources online where your practitioner, you Skype with them and have meetings over the phone, over your laptop. And yeah, it's actually really great. You don't have to live next to or like in the same region as a Creighton model practitioner. So basically, these practitioners are trained in this particular type of charting, and it's like learning a new language. But again, the whole point of this is that I wanted to find a natural thing to help me just locate differences and maybe problems in my cycle for later on that maybe I could, you know, do something about if I felt like I needed to. But it was really just a form of tracking. So I found a practitioner and I signed up. I took a class. It really pushes the couple doing it together. So my husband was really involved. He also learned everything that I had to learn. And it is an involved process, but again, it's not hard. You just have to really know your body, and you're learning how to recognize biomarkers like cervical mucus and things like that. It's very interesting. So we took the intro class over Skype. It was really interesting. A lot of it we already knew, and a lot of it we didn't. It was, like I said, it's like learning a new language, and you learn about recognizing biomarkers, and you learn how to chart. So the first month of charting, our practitioner asked us to abstain from intercourse just to make sure that I was properly identifying my biomarkers. So we abstained. And then my second cycle that we started, she was like, okay, you guys can resume business as usual if you want, whatever. But this is just your second time, so your second month. So we're still trying to make sure that you're properly identifying your cervical mucus for that particular day and labeling it properly. This is going to be such a long video. I'm so sorry. Long story short, I was able to identify that I did ovulate second cycle doing the Creighton method, but first cycle doing it while being able to be intimate. I realized that I had ovulated on cycle day 21, which is pretty late in your cycle. I, you know, didn't think anything of it, but to me, knowing that I ovulated was a miracle, because like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't do that naturally. And that's a really important key, because I want to be totally honest with you guys. I think Creighton method, Creighton model, however you want to say it, I think it helped me to understand what was happening in my body, but I completely and 100,000 trillion% believe that the fact that I ovulated naturally on my own at all was a complete miracle. And I'm absolutely giving all the credit to the Lord for this baby. And it is literally every day I feel every day I forget, almost like I wake up and I forget I'm pregnant. Every day I get emotional, just if I stop and think about it, I'm constantly just thanking the Lord, because I know that this is a fulfilled promise that he gave us. And I don't know what your journey is, what your journey is with your infertility, and what your relationship is like with the Lord, if you even have one. And that's okay. I'm just trying to share with you my experience and what I know to be true for us. And it was just such a miraculous thing. I mean, I just get really overwhelmed thinking about it. So this is a complete miracle. I'm not supposed to ovulate on my own. Anytime I've ever ovulated, I've had to take medicine for it. So it's just so amazing. And I highly recommend doing the Creighton method, because it just helps you to just narrow down everything. And you're not taking temperatures, but it is involved. Don't get me wrong. It is involved. So that is just a really quick synopsis of how we got pregnant and what happened. And it's a total miracle. And I wish I could give you some secret ingredient that made it work for us. And all I can do is encourage you. Like, for the longest time, I never thought that I would ever get pregnant and have the opportunity to have a baby and be a mom. I truly didn't. I was really hopeless for most of my journey. And that's something I really do want to talk about, is like what happens after you've known nothing but infertility and all of a sudden you're not facing that anymore. It's a very weird shift in the world. Like, it feels very, I feel guilty. I know it's silly, but like I feel guilty. My sister and my sister-in-law have been talking to me a little bit about like baby shower plans that they want to do, and which is so sweet. But then I feel guilty because for the last couple of years, as a rule, I just quit going to baby showers. Like, I just would send a gift and say, nice, I'm happy for you. Good luck, congratulations. But I couldn't emotionally go. And so I feel guilty about that. And like, I don't know. I still remember so many difficult feelings about in my infertility journey, that it's weird being on the other side. It's amazing, but it's weird. And so, how people have like survivor's guilt when people die and someone lives in the same accident, and they have like survivor's guilt. I feel a little bit of that, but with being on the other side of infertility. So I know that's a little silly, but it's definitely a real thing. You just kind of, you're getting used to, oh wow, this is actually happening now. Your whole focus isn't like get pregnant, just make it work, have it work, do what you can to make it work. It's like, oh, it worked, holy crap, it has worked, and I'm pregnant, and now we have to raise a human, and now you have to give birth, and like all those things. It's overwhelming for sure. So yes, I'm pregnant. We moved. We're no longer in West Texas. We were there, but as soon as I found out I was pregnant, my husband and I were both like, we have to go home, like home to Georgia. So both of our families are here. So we are back in South Georgia, which is really wonderful, and we're so thankful. Life is a little tough in a lot of ways. My husband took a big pay cut coming to his new job here. But we're just trusting that things will be okay. So if you are a person of prayer, definitely pray for us on that. But we're so thankful, and we have so much to be thankful for and grateful for. So we're definitely every day trying to really just give thanks and give our burdens that we do have to the Lord, and just trust that he's going to take care of us. And so there's that update. Now you guys are probably wanting to know, like, how far along are you, and what are you having, do you know, and all these other really crazy things that I know I was always interested in. When someone I followed would, be like, I'm pregnant, I'd be like, oh my God, tell me everything. So let me get my trusty little app here. I should know how far along I am, but honestly, the days are kind of running together lately. So I am 22 weeks and 4 days pregnant, which is insane. I'm in my second trimester. I'm more than halfway through my pregnancy. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely feel super unprepared for delivery and labor and things like that. Sorry, y'all. I had to run downstairs and handle some dog issues. I think I was telling you guys about like labor. I'm a little nervous about labor because I still feel really uneducated. But I plan on educating myself. I think I'm just, I don't know, feel kind of like an ostrich sticking my head in the sand a little bit. There's so much noise. I'm so sorry. It's literally been silent all day. And as soon as I'm like, let me sit down and film a video, it's just, I am seeing a midwife group here in South Georgia. My plan is to have as natural of a birth as I can in a hospital. But I am not against pain help if I need it. I'm not against anything actually, if it is actually necessary. What else? I'm trying to learn about, you know, things I want to allow and things I don't want to allow, you know, just getting the whole birth plan situated, which feels really overwhelming because it's my first and I'm just like, I don't know, and like, I don't know, it's a lot. And then also just to keeping a human alive, I keep telling everyone, like my mom and my sister-in-law and my husband, and I'm like, I'm nervous about birth just because I know it's going to be the most painful thing I'll ever experience. But I know, I mean, knock on wood, I'll live through it. I'll live through it. I will heal. It will be okay. The pain is temporary. Like, I'm not freaking out about the birth and the labor. I'm mostly like, they're gonna let me go home with my new child and I have to keep this new child alive, and like, it's just the overwhelming feeling of like being a new parent that I'm like, what do I do? So I'm trying really hard to really educate myself and have a good plan and all of that. So that's been exciting and fun and overwhelming as is for everyone, and so I've been enjoying it. What else? Oh yes, we do know what we're having. We're having a little girl, which is really exciting, and we do have a name picked out. We are naming her Fiona Gale. Fiona, we've just always loved that name. It's got a Gaelic history. I'm Scottish. My husband has some Celtic in him, and we just love Celtic things, and so we love the name Fiona. And Gail is my husband's mother's name, who passed away when he was 4, so we wanted to honor her. And I do think it's a really beautiful name anyway. Gail's just a lovely name, so we'll call her Fiona. Yeah, let's see, what else? Symptoms. Oh my gosh, I was really sick in my first trimester. Really, really sick. I was afraid I was going to get hyperemesis gravidarum, which is a disorder that some women have, where they're literally deathly ill all 9 months. Like, can't keep food down. They need an IV. They're just sick the whole time. Because my mom had it with all 4 of us, and my sister had it with her first and then her second pregnancy, which were twins. She also had hyperemesis gravidarum the whole time. And they say it's genetic, so they think it's genetic. I'm not really sure. I was sick through my first trimester, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what if I have this thing? What if I'm never gonna stop feeling so sick? I was so sick. But I was not as sick as my sister was, or my mom. So I didn't have it after my second trimester. I had a few pukey days, even in the beginning of my second trimester, but I didn't, I started feeling better. Like, my energy level would get up, would increase. I was super tired. That was a pregnancy symptom that I had in my first pregnancy that I lost. So I did recognize that one. And I was so emotional. Like, I mean, I've been on a lot of fertility meds, but this was like real intense. More intense, I would even say. Wow, it was intense. I remember laying in bed being sick and my husband walking in. We were still living in Texas at the time. He walked in and I was just crying my eyes out, and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, you're just so great. You're just the best. I was just sitting there thinking about how much I loved my husband, and I was boohooing like a baby. So there was a lot of those, and he would just laugh. Like, he's like, you are so pregnant. The morning I found out I was pregnant, I was only 10 days post-ovulation, which was pretty early to find out. I think usually it's like before your missed period, or like 14 days. So I found out kind of early, and there's this huge storm that blew in, and knocked all of our power out. It was like 4 a.m. And, oh, that's the other thing I was going to tell you. An early pregnancy symptom for me was the most insane amount of urine all the time. I had to pee all the time, to the point that I thought that I had a urinary tract infection. I've had one of those before in my life, and so I was super like, oh my God, I have a UTI. This is horrible, because I couldn't stop peeing, and my sensation to continue to pee wouldn't go away even if I'd empty my bladder out. Most of the time I would pee, it wasn't much coming out, and so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was drinking lots of water. I even took some cranberry pills, like some, cranberry tablets, just to try and help it. And I remember this particular Sunday, my husband and I were leaving church, and it was a rare Sunday that he was off, and we were going to go to Target afterwards, or we went to eat dinner or eat lunch, and then we were going to go to Target. We had errands to run, and like I just kept running to the toilet, and like it was just so annoying. And he was like, what is wrong with you? He kept saying, I think you're pregnant. I think you're pregnant. And I'm like, you're high. I'm not pregnant. Like, I can't get pregnant. This has been a struggle. Like, there's no way. And I just would blow it off. He's like, no, I really think you might be. I'm like, no, it's a UTI. Like, I haven't been really drinking a lot of water. I've had a little bit more, like, Zevias than I should, even though Zevias are fine. Anyway, I just was like, no, it's fine. And so when we got to Target, I started walking around with him. Like, we walked in the door, and I was like, I gotta go home. I can't stop peeing. I don't feel good in my bladder. Like, I'm uncomfortable. And so when he was like, we're leaving Target, you can't even walk around Target, like, this is serious. Because I love Target. So he definitely called it, and that was the most intense symptom I had not experienced before in my previous pregnancy. So that was definitely a new one, and it was intense. So yeah, the power went out this random morning, and I took a pregnancy test because I thought it'll shut Dave up. I'm not pregnant, whatever, it'll shut him up. I know I've got a UTI. And so I had my flashlight on my phone, and I was, taking the test, and it immediately came up. And I just remember shaking and feeling like I was gonna faint. Like, I was just so excited, but I couldn't believe it. I just kept thinking, wait, what? I've never seen a positive pregnancy test at home. My first pregnancy was always confirmed with blood work, because I was seeing a reproductive endocrinologist. So I didn't get the opportunity to see those two lines. And so this was something that I don't know, it was just, that was the first time I got to see a positive home pregnancy test. So I kept taking more, of course, as you do. Like, you don't believe it, even though it's right in front of you. And I just started laughing hysterically in the bathroom. I just remember thinking, God has such a sense of humor. Like, I finally stopped caring about it, and I truly was doing Creighton model and Creighton method to see if there were any other underlying issues that my body probably was suffering from that I didn't know. And it was a natural and easy way to just track my cycles. I quit all my supplements. I quit eating keto. I quit my medications before. Like, I just quit the whole thing. I just kind of shut the book. And it was just like, okay, like, I just let go and let you handle it in your timing, and trusted that he was going to do it when it was his perfect timing. And I think I started to say this before, but I got sidetracked, I'm sure, because I was either breathing too heavy or had to run out of the room. Sorry. But my prayer for such a while after I quit, and it was honestly just like 3 months. I literally was like, eh. And then 3 months later, I was pregnant. My prayer was, Lord, I believe that you want to give us a child. I believe that you will bless us with a child. And I am trusting you on that. And I want this to happen when it's your timing. I want what you want. My heart wants what your heart wants. Whatever that is, that's what I want. And that's what I'm praying over. So it was like, just because I didn't have the answers and I didn't have the knowledge, I wanted to make sure I was aligning my wants for my life to be whatever it is that he wanted. And I had nights where I'm like, Lord, if you don't want me to be a mother, if I've you know, understood a promise from you and you don't want me to be a mother, then I pray whatever your will is, that it is over my life, and that that's something that that I want as well. Help me with that. Help me with peace and sorry, all of that. So that was just my prayer for such a long time. I say such a long time, like a couple months. So anyway, this was such a jumbly video, and I'm so sorry. I've been so MIA. I can't believe we're pregnant and we're having a baby, and I'm 34 and she's due in 17 weeks. Sorry guys, my camera keeps overheating and I don't even remember what I was saying. So I'm feeling baby Fiona kick a lot. She's really been pretty active in there, which is such a cool feeling. So anyway, I'm gonna cut the video off now because I feel like I've talked way too long, way too much. If you guys have any questions or have any requests for videos, I mean, I'm kind of just trying to grow a human and prepare for that and educate myself. I am trying to do a lot of DIY things to prepare for baby. I want to have a really minimal type of nursery. I don't want a lot of things. I'm trying to do a lot of reusable stuff. Like I want to use reusable diapers, reusable washcloths, and things like that, that I can, you know, save money in the long run as well as help out the earth. If you guys have any cool videos or DIY stuff for newborns, anything educational about birth or advice or anything, I would absolutely love it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being such good friends and just being on this journey with me. Heartburn has been really intense. I do apologize. I absolutely want to make this 100% clear. I love my infertility community, and I will always be hurting with you, and I will always know what that feels like. I will always understand and remember many, many years of just being heartbroken and feeling hopeless, and just that climb of what to do, where to go, just all of it. I will never forget that. It's made me who I am, and I'm thankful to have gone through it, but I'm very thankful to not be there anymore. So please don't stop asking me questions or reaching out if you need someone to talk to. I am very much a part of that community, and I always will be. It's been such a big part of my life. I'm excited about this new chapter, and obviously if I do more content, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know the next time I'm going to film, but I will eventually. But when I do, I'm sure I'll be doing more baby focused things, because I will be having a baby. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, give this video a thumbs up, and just, you know, let me know what you guys want to see. And thanks again for watching. I hope you all are doing well, and I love you so much, and you are absolutely more than your infertility or whatever you're struggling with. Your value is not dependent on that. And my whole life's mission, I feel like, is just encouraging you to see yourself and value yourself the way your creator sees you and values you. And that's where you put your value, in what he says about you, and not what you may be going through and struggle with or whatever. So I love you. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.